Hey guys, I'm going to talk about ride-sharing companies, specifically Uber and Lyft, and their recent issues with operating in New Mexico. So, some of you are possibly watching this thinking, what the hey is an Uber? It is a app-based transportation service. So, you download the app to your phone, you open up the app whenever you're in need of a ride. There will be a big request button that you can hit. Within minutes of touching that button, your GPS location is then sent to the closest driver in your vicinity. You'll be picked up in about 5 minutes and you'll get to go wherever you want to go. Payment for your ride is also made a lot easier with these companies. When you set up your app, it's automatically linked to your account. So once your Uber driver drops you off, you can go on your merry little way and they're automatically paid once that ride has ended. This process is so much easier than calling up a cab and waiting literally forever for them to pick you up. It's also always such a lovely little surprise when your cab driver finally gets to you and informs you that he doesn't take payment in the form of a debit card. Love it. At that point, you should probably just stay home because you've probably already missed the party anyways. But not only do companies like this provide rides for New Mexico citizens, they are also reducing the number of drunk drivers getting behind the wheel. Albuquerque Journal actually says, I quote, "The Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office made 1/3 fewer drunken driving arrests in 2014 than any year before, the fewest DUI arrests in recent memory." In this same article, DUI attorney and recent Commissioner Simon Kubiak makes direct reference to Uber and Lyft being part of the reason we've seen this drastic and recent decrease. New Mexico has always been a top offender in drunk driving. I don't understand why a solution has finally started to come our way and we're pushing it out. Uber and Lyft can also be a solution to the recent economic turmoil that New Mexico's kind of struggled to recover from. These companies create jobs. The hours are flexible. You can kind of create your own schedule. They can serve as supplemental or primary incomes for anyone who can clear a background check. From a college student's point of view, I love Uber. I use them every weekend going out and coming home. I could possibly get a job there if I wanted to support myself throughout my semesters at UNM. And I just think it would be a huge mistake for New Mexico to squeeze out Uber and Lyft from operating here in New Mexico. So what exactly is the issue here? I'll tell you. Under New Mexico law, the Public Regulation Commission is responsible for regulating Uber and Lyft. Recently, there's been somewhat of a riff led by the left within the PRC about what they're going to do about these app-based ride-sharing companies. Because they just sort of reached an impasse on this topic, they issued a cease and desist order, but it has not been enforced yet. Now, Republican Monica Youngblood actually had a great solution. It was a bill introduced last legislative session that aimed to solve the problems that the PRC was having by providing a list of rules and regulations that Uber and Lyft had to abide by in order to keep operating here in New Mexico. Unfortunately, this bill died in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Opponents such as Raymond Sanchez, the former Democratic speaker, and powerful taxicab union lobbyist argued that this bill gave Uber and Lyft an unfair advantage over taxi cabs because they didn't have to follow the same rules and regulations that taxi cab companies had to. Since then, Lyft has stopped their operations in New Mexico, stating their reasons for doing so being an unfriendly work environment. You hear that, New Mexico? We're unfriendly. So rude. Thankfully, Uber is trying to work with us and hasn't made any announcements yet of them leaving. The main opponents to this situation are taxi cab workers and supporters. They're all claiming that they're losing business to Uber. To this, I'd like to say, that's a rough situation, but maybe if getting a cab didn't suck so bad, you wouldn't be losing all of your business to Uber. I think we should embrace all the great things that Uber brings to New Mexico instead of resisting it. The way we live in this day and age, our everyday processes are constantly improving and evolving due to our technology-based society. And if taxis are on their way out, then so be it. But don't freak out and get mad at me if you're a taxi cab driver. I have a simple solution for you. Get a job at Uber. This will increase their volume of drivers, which in turn increases the amount of people getting safe rides home and Uber thriving in Albuquerque, which is what we really need right now.